Welcome to Saturday Night Hype! This time we got a 4-women battle royal to determine the first of 2 participants for our first ever CIW Women's Championship match at Doomsday. I am the Colonist. Let's break down the competitors. It is Black Cat. It is the Yellow SPD Ranger. It is Padme Amidala and Evey Hammond from the V for Vendetta movie, for those of you who aren't familiar. And this is Black Cat making her way into the CIW locker room, and we are very excited to bring to you a cavalcade of women to bring in to start our women's division with. And a lot of these women you don't see in a lot of other places. I mean, Padme obviously you see a lot, and Lara Croft you see a lot, but we're going to provide an interesting different selection here of women to showcase. And the best way to do that, we thought, was to do a 4-women battle royal, and again Doomsday, which will take place a 2-day event in the middle of June. Stay tuned for the dates of same. We will have the winner of this match plus the winner of a second 4-women battle royal at the other end of the King of the Spring tournament, which is taking place all throughout May and the first half of June. So you're going to stay tuned for that. It is going to be tremendous. Here comes Evey Hammond with kind of an interesting headband. I mean, we saw Padme with something similar. I still can't quite make out what that says. I still don't know what that reads. It's just a little too small for me to make out, but headwear is not something I expected Evey Hammond to wear, and she is wearing the as equivalent of a brown rag as we could find for her and still be wrestling gear. And Evey Hammond is a little bit, maybe a little screw loose, let's put it that way, after some of the unspeakable atrocities that V showed to her and demonstrated to her and on her, in the same way that V was attacked himself, of course, if you take a look at the movie. But Evey Hammond here looking to make a statement here, a powerhouse of a woman. You do not want to get near her when she is pissed off, I firmly believe. Here comes the Yellow Ranger. And we were lucky enough to get the other Rangers, the Blue and the Green Ranger, to get in contact with both the Yellow Ranger and the Pink Ranger. This one, I believe, is Lizzie, if I am not mistaken, from the SPD entourage, as the Yellow Ranger looks to make her debut here and make a splash in maybe a bigger form than either of her male cohorts have in the entire time they've been in CIW. And this is the perfect way to do it. Then to be the last woman standing here. And of course, all of this is leading up to May the 1st, the first matchup in our King of the Spring tournament. If you have not filled out a bracket yet, the link is in the description. Fill out a bracket. It is totally free to do so. The predictions bracket, we will announce the winner. And we're not quite sure, but we're going to come up with some sort of prize for them. We're not quite sure what it's going to be yet, but we will establish what that is soon. So stay tuned for that. But here comes the final member of our matchup here, Padme Amidala, who is also wearing that cap with that logo on the top of it, which, you know, I just can't make it out what it is. But I do find it intriguing that Evey Hammond also has this skull cap, considering that Evey Hammond and Padme Amidala, both played by Natalie Portman, at least in the universe of Hollywood, in the big old Hollywood baby. And Padme Amidala had a hell of a showing against Lara Croft and just barely came up on the wrong side of Dodge in that matchup. But what a matchup it was, and certainly turned a lot of heads, as she is looking to do tonight. And here we go. And it is a battle royal, which means it is the last woman standing, and immediately Padme and Evey are on the outs. And we also are seeing, and of course it is every woman for themselves, as Portman against Portman here, as the Yellow Ranger takes on Black Cat. And referee John Goodman once again assigned to this contest. We thank him for coming in 2 weeks in a row. Nice spike pile driver there by the Yellow Ranger. And I'm not really sure who's going to come out of this on top. This really could go to any of these women. They all have the same chip on their shoulder to make an impression here. And of course, the lure of being the first CIW Women's Champion after 9 years of business is something that all 4 of these women are looking to achieve and be the first of Punch to the Vag. And that is not going to bode well. I mean, that's going to hurt for anyone, you know, just because it's attacking women, it's attacking lady parts instead of man parts, doesn't mean that a punch to that area isn't going to hurt. And now a leg drop onto the arm, I should say, by Black Cat. Black Cat from the Spider-Man series. Of course, is very happy for Tobey Maguire and Bully Maguire's exploits, although he came up on the wrong side of the best of 3 matches that we saw in the Restoration against Prince of Persia, and both Symbiote Spider-Man and Prince of Persia will also be in the King of the Spring tournament. And of course, if you're wondering where our commentators are, both Josh Again and Nate Bizzle will be very much a part of your booth for CIW once it happens. And oh, wait a second, look at this big old delayed suplex here. Oh no! And a roll-up too, and oh, and a kick out. And I barely saw the roll-up because I was marveling more at the brainbuster we just saw from Lizzie, the yellow SPD Ranger. But Evey Hammond has taken some trauma to the head before, so it's going to take more than a brainbuster to stop her. You know, she is the epitome of rampage. But we're not airing her on Friday nights. This is Saturday night hype! And of course, it is full elimination match here, which means all 4 of these women are trying to be the... It's an endurance game as well as just being able to execute and get the fall. And now we've got echoing legs to the back of the Portmans as Black Cat and the Yellow Ranger wrench Padme and Evey Hammond, and that's quite funny, actually. And maybe, you know, maybe they're thinking, you know, why are there 2 Natalies in this match? Oh, nope, never mind. And the allegiance that I, for marginally thought might be possible, turns out not to be possible. Black Cat with the foot once again into the back of Evey Hammond. And Padme, oh, nice discus punch there right to the skull of the Yellow Ranger. And a nice spear into the corner from Padme. An impressive move of her own. As all 4 of these women trying to vie for the first of 2 spots for the Doomsday match that will lead to the first CIW Women's Champion. Of course, King of the Spring, as we mentioned before, starts on May the 1st, and we have 2 more weeks of Saturday Night Hype before we get to that. And now it's the, well, we can't call it the babies, but it's definitely a rope into the, God, I need something clever for this. Maybe I should have the commentators with me. Iron Claw from Black Cat, but Padme Amidala attacking the meat wallet. And, and maybe they should dial up a medic using those wonderful sat phones that the Power Rangers had. Oh, God, what a drop kick to the face. As the Yellow Ranger, all senses and body functions are being assaulted here. And Evey Hammond and Padme now starting to get on top. Referee John Goodman has his hands full, to be sure. And, of course, our major culmination, the King of the Spring tournament. Of course, the winner of that King of the Spring tournament is going to be crowned at Doomsday on day 1, and the winner of that will have a World Championship opportunity at a time of their choosing. Basically, it's the Money in the Bank concept that we did with ladders, and we're just applying it to the King of the Spring, a 32-man tournament. It is the biggest tournament that will be fully executed. And now, oh, sweeping DDT onto Padme Amidala by Black Cat. But the biggest tournament in CIW history with some of the biggest stakes, and we've got some other major matches that are going to be up. And of course, this next couple of weeks, we've got some pretty interesting matchups of our own. The greatest champion, Captain Pollution, coming. Oh, there's Black. That was a good camera angle. Thank you, Kevin Slun. And now Evey Hammond just right hands onto the Yellow Ranger. But I was starting to say Captain Pollution takes on Exceeds champion Noob Saibot, as Captain Pollution has challenged Kratos for the world title at Doomsday. And now says Pollution wants to prove that he is worthy of that championship, even though he doesn't really respect much and dismisses most CIW talent, but that's just the way that Pollution rolls. And a nice float over DDT there by Black Cat, who has assaulted the heads of all 3 of these women. And no one been able to secure a pinfall yet. As all 4 women still in the ring, could that change? The cover on the Black Cat and a kick out. I presume that was a rope break. But if it wasn't, then just a kick out, not even at 1. Thigh squeeze by the Yellow Ranger. Oh, wait a second. It's again the Black Cat, the claws. The Black Cat's using the claw. And once again taking down Padme Amidala, but Padme no-selling it. And it's hard to keep track if you're John Goodman of who's doing what and when. especially in a match like this. And now the Yellow Ranger. Wait, Yellow Ranger Elizabeth going for that brain buster. Oh, God, again to Evey Hammond. Elbow drop to Padme. Cover to Evey Hammond. 1, 2. Only 2 after a second brain buster. What resilience from Evey Hammond. And boy, did the action pick up there from all 4 of these women right in a hot spurt. Now a big drop kick, and down goes Black Cat from Evey Hammond. Captain Pollution Noob Saibot, as I mentioned, that's going to be a major match. And of course, we've got another matchup. Batman, oh, wait a second, another claw, another iron claw from Black Cat, or the Black Claw, if you want to put it that way. And now a cover on the Padme. Will Black Cat pin Padme 2? No! And Padme kicks out at 2. And no, wait a second. And the Yellow Ranger, not a third one, a third brain buster to Evey Hammond. Low blow to Padme's meat wallet. And now just slaps to the face from Black Cat. John Goodman's yelling at nothing. This is CIW, baby. Saturday Night Hype. We are leading towards the King of the Spring come May 1st. Roll up by Padme. Roll up by Padme. 2. And no, only 2 again. A kick out from Black Cat. And these 4 women not leaving the ring, as is the rules with our battle royals. You know, you got to do all your fighting in the ring. That's the plan. That's the game plan here. And now a back suplex from Evey Hammond on the Padme. And of course, the other match that is coming up, you know, we already saw the TAWTF Championship, but we are getting a match between Batman, accompanied with Aquaman, one half of the tag champions, takes on one half of the Greasy Green Gigolos, Piccolo, with Reptile in his corner. That is a one-on-one matchup that you wouldn't expect, but I'm sure is going to deliver. So stay tuned for that. That's all part of our Saturday Night Hype series throughout the month of April. Punch to the meat wallet. Cover on Padme. 1, 2, 3. And Padme is eliminated, which means we are down to 3. Padme took 2 or 3 different iron claws. It's actually pretty remarkable that she didn't go down earlier. That's final sweeping DDT enough to do her in from Black Cat, who has been ubiquitous in the ring. She has been absolutely everywhere. And now another attack on the meat wallet, this time from Black Cat. The skin-tight leather of Black Cat being chafed. And that is not a position you want to be in when you're trying to vie for a title shot. And a nice neck breaker there from the Yellow Ranger, who has really been putting in work. We've seen brain busters, we've seen neck breakers. She has been moving. All 4 of these women, a meeting of the minds there. As if Evey Hammond could possibly take any more cranial punishment after 3 different brain busters and now a punch to the meat wallet. And boy, these wallets are meaty today, and they are getting assaulted by all of these women. Are definitely going to endure some swelling of a different nature than I'll ever know, that's for sure. But 3 women remaining. Uh-oh, not again. Not a 4th. A 4th brain buster. There aren't many more brains left to bust. And wait a second, a roll up, as she was going for the cover 2. No, only 2. Boy, what a snag that would have been if after a brain buster, the Yellow Ranger gets caught in a roll up, but not to be on that encounter. And who is going to win this match? These women are fighting their asses off, as did Padme, to her credit. It's not like she got eliminated very early and all of a sudden, you know, we've got a major matchup. It's only been a couple of minutes. Evey Hammond's still in this match. Black Cat's still in this match. But all 3 of them have taken quite a good amount of punishment. This one can go to any one of these women, and that's what excites me about this women's division. It can go either way, any way you want it. That's the way we'll give it to you, and by God, you'll like it. And that's what I like about CIW, is just how much I enjoy what these people do for all of you. Now, keep in mind, as I mentioned before in the live stream on the 1st, Michael Corleone's on vacation, so I took the liberty of making this whole thing, you know, piecing this all together, because Corleone is off enjoying the sights and sounds of Italy for the next 3 months with Kevin James, mind you. He and Kevin James are good friends. So we gave them both a vacation, and now a leg attack, take a drink, or a scoop of ice cream. We gave her the night. We gave Kevin James a vacation. He's getting beaten up so much that he deserved it. So that doesn't mean we don't have plenty of other officials who will be able to guide us through King of the Spring. And Corleone wishes us the best, and he didn't give me a phone number for contact. So we're probably not going to see or hear from a whole lot of Mike, at least until probably around Doomsday time is when he's planning on coming back. At least that's what I was told. But back to the match at hand here. And now nice right hand there by the Yellow Ranger. And the Yellow Ranger, you got to imagine that the Yellow Ranger definitely wants this and is very hungry for this, knowing the mediocrity of the other Rangers in CIW and how much that they have been able, how much they weren't or haven't been able to really establish themselves as somebody important or even featured in that respect. You know, they just haven't seemed to get their, you know, the stars haven't aligned quite right for them. Oh, wait a second. Another brainbuster, this time the Black Cat. The first she's taken, but man, is that devastating. And now a slap to the back from Evey Hammond. And once again, the Yellow Ranger not able to go for a cover on a clearly beaten victim because Evey Hammond, no, wait a second. Now Evey Hammond just biting the head, I think. And now a roll up. Bit the head, and now 1, 2, not like that. Oh no. The Yellow Ranger is eliminated after getting bitten in the forehead from Evey Hammond and then rolled up from Black Cat. But now we are down to 2, ladies and gentlemen. It is down to Evey Hammond and Black Cat, who will be the first to punch their ticket to Doomsday. The very first competitors to do so for the Women's Championship that you will see on Doomsday in the middle of June. Nice up gut-wrench suplex. Take a drink. And now a cover, and then could that be it for Evey Hammond? The cover, 1, 2, 3. And when all of the head trauma finally caught up, and Black Cat is your winner. What a contest, a brutal four-woman battle royal. But Black Cat is the first to enter into the one-on-one match for the CIW Women's Championship. A historic night for these women and a historic night for each and every one of us. Folks, this is only the second of 4 weeks of Saturday Night Hype, and we're breaking ground here. Black Cat is your winner. I am the Colonist, and we will see you next week for another edition of Saturday Night Hype. See you, folks.